Welcome to Raiders Roundtable, presented by America First Credit Union. I'm JT, and we have an official finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. EA, congratulations.
Right on. Way to
really
go, bud.
excited, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. But the Raiders stacking wins now, back-to-back wins. They went into New Orleans, typically a hostile environment, and they clearly played their best game of the year. Let's start with the defense and what you saw.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think coming into the football game, obviously you think you're doing your prep, you're like, man, offensively, this football team, they're struggling a little bit, JT, and you want to continue those struggles going with that defense. And defense, man, shout out to them. Just really good job of being organized, kind of making the young quarterback have to see through some zone concepts early on third down. Man, they were awesome. They were 1 for 10 on third down, JT. That's unheard of in the National Football League. And I know they don't have Derek Carr, they don't have Alvin Kamara, they don't have some of their best receivers, but defensively, that's what you're supposed to do when they don't have those big-time players. So really excited about all three levels of this defense, particularly the secondary. Again, Jack Jones had an interception. Isaiah playing at a big-time level. Of course, Trayvon has this whole season been playing at a all-pro, all-Madden kind of level, making plays on the ball, up front getting it done, reserve safeties making big plays. I think this defense have really taken that next step. This is the second time. Right, we've seen this progress at the end of seasons. Reserve players, young players, guys who were not think of as starters on this football team, getting their opportunities and really advancing their case to be on this football team next year.
Yeah, I want to stay on that point. 1 of 10, the Saints on third down. That gives you more possessions on offense. 38 minutes time of possession. So it clearly is the formula. If you're going to say next year, how do the Raiders win games? How do you do it? Just throw this tape on. I know that wasn't the greatest competition on the other side, but they played at a professional high level. They had problems traveling there. Let's get that out of the way. They had a plane issue, so they had to come back to this building and spend all day here. They took off late at night. They got in there as late as you possibly could to play a game the next day. No excuses. They came out on fire, and they got off the field, and they gave the offense the ball.
Yeah, JT, that was kind of like in high school when you would take that bus ride across town, right? So you're all on the bus. You're thinking about, the same things you did in practice the previous day. So you hop off that bus, and you're all focused, dialed in, ready to go. Sometimes in the league, when you go to a different city, you're able to kind of hang with your family and have a bite to eat, so your mind kind of wanders a little bit. They were target focused in. You saw that getting off the buses as they were entering the stadium, all focused in and dialed in, playing complimentary football. I think the one thing that really popped off the screen for me offensively was the ability to be able to be successful on third down because of the running game. Amir Abdullah did an amazing job. We used to have like this third down back, back in the 80s and 90s. You have the first and second down back, you had a third down back. Amir was that kind of guy, but he had his opportunity to play on first and second down, really took advantage of that. Loved the spark, the impact he made when he was running in between the guards, just doing a really good job of being able to bounce off tacklers, continuing to be successful in the run game. As you see here, hitting the holes. Offensive line, great job. O-line, getting up, getting to the second level. But Amir Abdullah really being able to make it happen out of the backfield. Now, that's what you expect from a third down back, but he had his opportunity to do a little bit of everything. He stated his case yesterday, JT, for being on this football team another year by being a guy who's versatile, being able to line up at all different situations, but being able to run in the middle of the field like this with the body size that you wouldn't think would be able to be successful doing this. To see the straight arm there? Amir Abdullah had his day, JT. Really proud of this young man getting it done.
Yeah, he's the first 100-yard rusher, and you don't want to see that this late in the season, but he did it. And I just like how he's ready to play.
Yes,
always. He could have been a fourth string back here when you thought about Zamir White, Alexander Madison, Sincere McCormick was going to be the starter. And then you look at him, AP looks at him and says, look, you're the last man standing.
You got to go.
And he's playing his best football here this far into his career. I think it's a testament to wanting to play hard and wanting to put your best on tape every game. His professionalism is outstanding. Now that leads us to Brock Bowers.
Right.
Pretty professional young man who had a record-breaking day. He broke every record you can have. Every record now is his as a rookie. And that says something when you have Mike Ditka, Puka Nakua's record. Darren Waller was a great Raider production-wise while he was here, and Brock still got another game left.
He does, and shout out to the great Mike Ditka. Over 60 years this record has stood. Just tells you what kind of player he was and just kind of difference maker. But we have a great player here in Brock Bowers. I think when you start talking about players who you can count on to build an offense around, and that's what I saw yesterday as I saw the route concepts, the offense was all dialed in to take advantage of this guy. And when you're able to do that at a very young age and handle all of the different lineup assignments and different focuses on where you are in the offense, tells me a lot about you as a young guy and how dedicated you are to being a football player. All these things at the top of the route, you know, if you have a linebacker on you, you're not going to be as shifty. You're not going to be able to kind of run with him at the top of the route once he separates. So you see that. And then he has a younger guy on him, and he kind of used his body to lean on that younger guy to give the quarterback an opportunity to throw the ball where it needs to be thrown. So he's going to show his numbers to the quarterback. Just really good job, I think, of Brock Bowers always being available and being the kind of guy you can build an offense around, so you're able to kind of complement that with the running game, with the number 2 receiver and Jacoby Myers, with the speed on the outside. So right now he's a focal point, and he's able to do that because he's able to line up at all different spots on the football field.
When he was targeted, they didn't hesitate. They went right to him.
Right to him.
That's what I like about
it.
And
you like that.
They didn't look off of him. He was open, and they got him the ball. That'll happen going forward. When we come back, our MVP, Rich Gannon, will join us. We'll jump into Brock and the complimentary football that was played during the win in New Orleans. Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders.
In 300 feet, turn left.
With Cox's fiber-powered internet, you can do brilliant things.
Exit approaching.
Like upload your voice to Dad's GPS in no time flat.
And I miss you, Daddy. Happy birthday.
Get multi-gig download speeds powered by fiber. Upgrade your internet today with Cox, the nation's fastest internet provider. Limited availability in select areas.
Hey Raider Nation, when you come to see the Raiders take the field at Allegiant Stadium, you should do it from the best seats in the house. So grab an ice cold Coors Light, and you can enter to win tickets for these Coors Light silver seats at Allegiant Stadium. With plush seating, state-of-the-art beverage coolers, and wireless phone chargers, there's no better place to watch your Raiders bring home the win. Celebrate responsibly.
Dude, you're looking ice cold.
You look ice cold, bro.
Hey guys, somebody's coming. Somebody's coming.
Let's do it.
There comes a day,
Gonna be a day when I'll be the one
you dream.
It's gonna
It's gonna be Ray.
Dude, are you crying?
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
Maverick, Ranger.
another truckload of trucks.
Big event needs big selection. Right, like the Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. Gas, hybrid, electric, and big selection means great deals. Exactly, which means it's the best time to buy.
Now get 1.9 for 60 months plus 1,000 holiday cash plus no payments for 90 days on a 24 Ford F-150 STX.
It's in our very nature to find exhilaration in the new, to seek the excitement of the unexpected, an endless yearning to experience what lies beyond the everyday.
Hey Hey Raider Nation, when you come to see the Raiders take the field at Allegiant Stadium, you should do it from the best seats in the house. So grab an ice cold Coors Light, and you can enter to win tickets for these Coors Light silver seats at Allegiant Stadium. With plush seating, state-of-the-art beverage coolers, and wireless phone chargers, there's no better place to watch your Raiders bring home the win. Celebrate responsibly.
It's game day, the day we've been waiting for. And this is more than just a game, it's a passion, a lifestyle. Here at the Raider Image, you're part of our team. Whether you're in the stands or cheering from home, we've got your back. Feel the confidence, own the game. We are the Raider Image. Your game, your gear, exclusively at the Raider Image.
Welcome back to Raiders Roundtable. Our former MVP, Rich Gannon, joins us as always. And Rich, it's been about Brock. We talked about him all year. Finally, the milestones started lining up one after another in New Orleans. How did it look when you looked at the tape this morning?
Well, much of what we've seen most of the season from Brock Bowers, guys, just an incredible feel for the game. We've been talking about that. As a defense, that's the number one target, right? You know where the ball is going to go. And of course, he was very effective again yesterday. I just think he's got a great feel for the types of coverages. We've been talking about this a lot during the season. And I just think he's light years ahead of where a lot of rookie tight ends would be. And I think you go back and look at this record that he broke of Mike Ditka's, that's a 63-year-old record. Think about that. 63 years before someone broke that record. So first of all, it tells you a little bit about the type of player Mike Ditka was. A lot of people remember him as a coach, but he was a great player, obviously a Hall of Fame player. And certainly congratulations to Brock Bowers. I think, guys, when you look at his performance this season, there wasn't a lot of peaks and valleys. I mean, I think he just started out and he just got better and better and never hit that rookie wall. And I just think the team is playing with a lot of confidence right now. I think getting AOC back and him playing well here the last couple of weeks has helped. But when you think about multiple quarterbacks throwing him the football, you wonder what his production would have looked like if it was just one guy playing at a Pro Bowl level week in and week out. I mean, he's an incredible talent. Not only did he break Mike Ditka's record, he broke Puka Nakua's record, he broke Darren Waller's record. I mean, he had a pretty busy day yesterday, and it came in a win on the road, which was even more impressive.
Yeah, he's a different dude. I mean, just everything about him. More importantly, I think he's the focal point of this offense, and he continues to show us that you can build an offense, around this player. He's not a tight end, not a receiver. You can build an offense around this type of player, and we saw everything else that happened yesterday was because he's just such a dominant guy. And I'm more impressed about his ability to not have hit that rookie wall and just have mentally be in it, doing all the right things at the end of the season. Talk to us about how difficult it is for a young player to have all of that on his shoulders and still be able to deliver when it counts.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes from the program that he played at in the SEC at Georgia. I think they're used to playing in bowl games in January. They're used to practicing and year round and getting ready. They have a very extensive off-season program there at Georgia, and so I don't think it was as big as a leap for him to go from the SEC to the NFL as it is for a lot of players. But I just think when you look at, you mentioned the tight end, building around the tight end. Now think about that. We always talk about when you build an offensive football team, you want to build from the inside out. You want to be strong down the middle. You want to have a great center, a Pro Bowl center. You want to have a great quarterback, a great running back, but a great tight end that can attack and work in the middle of the field. And I always say that the quickest way to the end zone is right down the middle of the field. And I think the ability to work in the middle of the field, to attack in the middle of the field, third down, the red zone, I think his position versatility is so important. The fact that you can line him up on the right, the left, you can line him up as an inline player in the slot, outside the numbers, you can line up in the backfield. He's very good with movement and shifts and those type of things. And so think about, what he's accomplished this year and think about what this offense can look like moving forward. When you think about some of the best offenses in football over the last 2 decades, you look at the Patriots' success with Rob Gronkowski, you look at the Chiefs' success with Kelsey. When you have a great tight end, it opens up the field for everybody. in terms of the receivers, the backs in the passing game, the running game. And I just think it's it's nice to hit on a first-round pick. This kid's got a chance to be an elite player at that position.
What I love about our conversation today is his future, right? Because he's got the records. I remember when Darren Waller broke Tim Brown's record, and I said, that's Tim Brown.
Yeah.
And Rich knows Tim. I go, he didn't break a record of a tight end. He broke Tim Brown's record. Then I look at what Brock did yesterday, and I'm starting to think of next year where you can pencil him in, if he's healthy, of course, for over certain numbers that we're seeing now. That's good to have. Jacoby Myers is a very stable player.
Yes.
Devontae Adams was not. He was not a stable player. He wanted out of here. So you got two really cornerstone stable guys. And then Trey Tucker, Rich, who caught a nice touchdown there. And I think he's only going to get better. And I think the Raiders are going to be in the market for a wide receiver in the draft. And then you got Michael Mayer. So the core group of offensive pass catchers going into next year, I think, is pretty solid.
Yeah, it's a good group to start with. It's a good group to build on. I just think we talked about this for a couple of weeks now, guys. Going into the offseason with some confidence and some momentum. To win these two games, to be able to finish out the season with a chance to beat the Chargers, how important would that be? I just think, a good feeling about, hey, look, we had a disappointing season, but we won the final 3 games of the season. We're going to carry that into the offseason program and carry some confidence and momentum. And let's try and build on, and then let's try and learn, right? Let's learn from the mistakes we made from a personnel standpoint, from, just how the games played out. I don't think there's any question. We have to get better up front. I think the offensive line has to get better. I still look at, you get in these short yardage and goal line situations, and I kind of watch and I kind of cover my eyes because too often we're not getting back to the line of scrimmage. And I just think we've got to be able to move people off the ball. We have to be able to protect better. We have to be able to create a cup and a pocket for these quarterbacks to step up in those A and B gaps. And I just think that will be, we talk about being strong down the middle. When I was with the Raiders, we had a really big, powerful offensive line that could knock you backwards. Yeah. And that's what we need to get back to. I think, that was always Al's thing. He wanted a big, nasty offensive line. He wanted speed on the perimeter and a quarterback that could push the ball down the field. So, I'm encouraged. Look, AOC, I know we talk about Aiden O'Connell and how he's playing. Guys, I see a glimmer of hope there. I'm not in the business of predicting he's going to be, the next Pro Bowl quarterback. I just think that you go out and get a quarterback, you draft a quarterback, and then you have this veteran quarterback that is a likable guy. Guys respect him in the locker room. He can help the development of the young quarterback. He can be a backup quarterback. Whatever the role is, I don't know. But I saw the kid make some more plays again yesterday. He's 20 of 35, 2 touchdowns. He's not turning the ball over. Going on the road in that environment, not an easy place to play. So I just, I feel better about him. And I think it's been an unfortunate season for him when you think about the thumb injury. Then he comes back and he hurts his knee for a week. And I'm curious what the season would have looked like if, as the 3 of us talked about coming out of training camp, I think all of us were a little bit surprised with the decision to go with Gardner Minshew, not Aiden O'Connell, especially after what he accomplished last season. I mean, the guy played in 10 games. He won 5 of them. He beat the Chiefs. He beat the Chargers. He beat the Broncos. He went through a coaching change. He went through a coordinator change as a rookie. I mean, I thought there were some good things there, and I was a bit surprised that the organization decided to start Gardner Minshew, not Aiden O'Connell. I'm just curious what that season would have looked like had we gone with Aiden O'Connell week 1.
Yeah, you're right. And that leads me to the offense played like it did, ran the ball over 30 times a game, and you expect complementary football in that aspect. And we saw complementary football. Defensively, did a really good job. When your offense is on the field for over 30 minutes, it gives your defense an opportunity to kind of pin its ears back and kind of get after it a little bit. What did you think about how the defense performed?
Loved it, EA. Look, we talk about complementary football, right? The Raiders possessed the ball for 38 minutes in that game. So when you look at what that means, right? When Abdullah runs the way he does and it affects the play action game and you got the production from the tight end, now all of a sudden it's like a 15-round boxing match. Who can get the most punches in, right? So we had 74 offensive snaps to their 53, right? And one of it was because we were running it and we were doing a better job offensively converting third downs. The other thing was our defense was getting off the field on third down. They were just 1 of 10 on third down. And then you think about, you mix in 4 sacks, you mix in a pair of interceptions. You talk about, the reason we were struggling was we were dead last in that turnover differential. It's hard to win when you're giving it away and you're not taking it away on defense. But the last couple of weeks, that narrative has changed, right? So the defense is playing better. We're getting off the field on third down. Look, it's fun to see these guys having fun, right? I saw the post-game locker room, just the energy and the vibe and the excitement. These guys have put so much effort and energy and preparation and to go out there each week and not get the results you want. But it does speak a little bit, I think, about the character of this football team, that they fought through it. A lot of teams, guys, look around the league, have mailed it in. A lot of teams have EA, they back those U-Haul trucks up to the houses, and they're starting to unload. They're starting to get ready for those off-season trips. This team has stayed focused. They've been dedicated to their craft, and they're going out there and games that don't really matter. They're playing hard, and they're getting the results that all Raider fans want. A win last week against Jacksonville, a win this week against the Saints, and hopefully a win next week against the Chargers.
I'm excited about Isaiah Palomal because, again, we look to roster development going forward. Not only is he getting big reps, last week he was the AFC Defensive Player of the Week on a 3-win team before the New Orleans game. So there's a guy whose engine is high, and he's running around and trying to make plays. He's going to make a mistake or two in coverage in the passing game. But I like his physicality in the box and someone who's going to develop. Rich, his offseason is going to be really important now because Trayvon Merrick is up for a new contract. Isaiah Palomal is going to be here, and he's a very important piece going forward.
Yeah, we talked about him last week, Palomal, how well he played. As you said, JT, the defensive player of the week. And, of course, I thought he went out and played well again yesterday. I think when you see a guy that's around the ball a lot, a guy that takes good angles, a guy that's got a natural feel for the game back there, and a guy that's going to get better. EA can speak to this as well. A guy that's going to get better with reps, right? A guy needs to see it more. A guy needs to be in those situations. So, I just think there's some young players that are taking advantage of some opportunities late in the season, and I think that's always a good thing.
All right, Rich, last one. I got a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame sitting right next to me. This feels like it's right. He's the only corner on that list. There's a lot of great players. Make the case for your former teammate, Eric Allen.
Well, he was a bear to deal with in games. I played against him in Philadelphia. I practiced against him every day with the Raiders. I tell this story a lot. He drove me crazy pre-snap. He never was in one place. He had these eyes that would stare right down you, and he would try and read your eyes, and he did a great job route reading. He understood routes. He understood concepts. He understood down and distance. He understood situational football. He would jump routes. He was aggressive. When he got the ball in his hands, he was capable of scoring. And I think there's a couple different types of corners in our league. Guys that don't want to get beat, guys that want to keep things in front of them, and guys that feel like when the ball's in the air, it's thrown to them and not the receiver. And that was kind of EA's mindset. And I just remember my first training camp with the Raiders. And I would look over there, and there was Eric Allen, and I would look over there, and there was Charles Woodson, and I thought, well, where am I supposed to throw the ball? And then, and I had Tim Brown, I had James Jett, we had speed now. It wasn't like we didn't have any guys, but we had a heck of a time in practice.
Yeah, we did.
Completing footballs and making first downs. That's the type of corners, and that made me a better quarterback. But not only was Eric Allen a Pro Bowl and Hall of Fame player, but he was a Hall of Fame teammate and a Hall of Fame person in the community. I am so excited for our teammate, and I can't wait for that announcement at the Super Bowl.
Thank you, Rich. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you next week.
Happy New Year, my
Thanks
man.
so much.
Thank you, bud.
You guys are the best.
There he is. Rich Gannon, nice compliment from your former teammate.
Yeah.
He made him work in practice.
Hey,
and he made you work.
Oh, man. Him, Tim Brown, Jerry Rice, and before that, Andre Reed, those guys. The better the offense, I thought, for a defensive player, it made you better on Sunday or Monday, whenever you're playing, because you're going against some of the great guys in our league. So I really took a lot of pride in competing with Rich and all those great players in that offensive system. I thought it really made me, towards the end of my career, more sharp and ready to get after those opponents on Sunday or Monday.
When we come back, we'll go into the scrums in the winning locker room in New Orleans. Tough place to play. The Raiders played their best game of the year. They were excited afterwards, a nice celebration. We'll get to that when we come back.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with the Ford crew.
Someone took the Bronco out for an extended test drive.
They used all the goat modes. Goes over any type of terrain.
Looks like they had a lot of fun.
Those boots are awfully muddy, Sam.
My boots? I did it. I'm gonna do it again.
Right now, lease a Ford Bronco Sport Big Bend for $399 a month or a Bronco Big Bend for just $499 a month. Only at your Southern Nevada Ford dealers.
The power of we believes in you. It advocates for you. It completes your circle. It makes sure you have the strongest circle possible. And with Intermountain Health in yours, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Dude, you were looking ice cold.
You look ice cold, bro.
Guys, somebody's coming. Somebody's coming.
Let's do it.
There comes a day
When I'll be the one
you dream.
it's gonna.
It's gonna be Ray.
Dude, are you crying?
Hey Raider Nation, when you come to see the Raiders take the field at Allegiant Stadium, you should do it from the best seats in the house. So grab an ice cold Coors Light, and you can enter to win tickets for these Coors Light silver seats at Allegiant Stadium. With plush seating, state-of-the-art beverage coolers, and wireless phone chargers, there's no better place to watch your Raiders bring home the win. Celebrate responsibly.
It's in our very nature to find exhilaration in the new, to seek the excitement of the unexpected, an endless yearning to experience what lies beyond the everyday.
Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by Coors Light. Choose chill, an official beer of Raider Nation. Celebrate responsibly. 2024, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back to Raiders Roundtable. It's always fun to go in the locker room, especially on the road after a victory, as we begin with Isaiah Palomal and the run that he's had over the last couple of weeks.
This was kind of the blueprint that you guys had for winning. Play clean offensively, force some turnovers, success on third down defense and offense. I know it's kind of taken a little bit of a little while, but how satisfying is it that you were able and are able to draw up that blueprint?
I mean, it feels good because we talk about it all the time in the defense room. We want to be playing our best football in December. And, regardless of the situation, if we're playing for something or not, we want to be playing our best individually and as a team. So, I mean, it feels good.
His height jumps out at me. He's
Yeah.
a tall guy.
Yeah, tall, big
who's
guy.
very physical, and he's got a big wingspan. When you look at him on tape, what do you see?
I see a guy who's found a good spot. This coach that have done a good job. Coach Alexander is a safety coach, and obviously he has had to go through some rotations this year, find a good spot for him. And right now, in the middle of the football field, really providing that middle help. So when you go what we call one lurk, when all the defenders who have man-to-man are playing outside leverage, forcing their receiver inside, and there that guy is inside, creating some havoc in the middle of the football field, causing fumbles, getting some big hits. And when you look in the film room and you see that on Monday and everybody's excited on defense, you know who else is seeing that? The opposing team. And that was one of the causes for all those drop balls yesterday. You have the player of the week from last week who's making some big-time plays in the middle of the football field. Those receivers for the Saints saw that, and they had one eye on 20, one eye on the ball, and that's good for us. So Isaiah's really found a good spot.
Let's hear from Amir Abdullah, who had the best rushing game of his entire career.
What does it say about the character of this team? No quit, just continues to fight, scrap, and crawl.
I mean, I think for one, it just speaks to how much we care about one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not playing for anything other than each other right now. And I think that's enough for everyone to put some stuff on the line, play through some nicks and bruises, and execute at the highest level when it called on. And I couldn't be more proud of how these guys came out today.
I'll tell you, I'm going to predict some leadership awards for him in this offseason.
Yeah,
I don't know anything. I don't have any inside information. But when you look at his commitment to this team and the way he led this team during a 10-game losing streak and to come out of it and have his best game of the year, that tells me a lot.
It shows me a lot, tells me a lot also, JT. And when you have a player like that, versatile, started off on special teams, was probably in the special teams meeting, talk about how you're trying to get done, stay together. Then he gets this opportunity on third down, and now the running backs are banged up, so now you're the star guy. You have to come out and perform. His versatility, his veteran leadership has really shown this season. I'm really happy for him. It's like 140 games he has played without a 100-yard performance, and right when we need it to have that great balance to really be a capitalist, capitalize off of what Brock Bowers is being able to do. Just love the fact that this guy was able to present his resume to our football team once again. So I think he's really making the case to be here next year.
Trey Tucker had a big game, another touchdown for him. Here's the speedy wide receiver.
What's kind of stood out for you the last 2 weeks as far as the team effort?
I mean, you guys probably seen it all year. I mean, hell, we were, I don't know, 2-12 at one point. You know what I mean? At any point, I mean, you can start thinking about Cancun or whatever it may be in the offseason. But, and that's a credit to AP because we still came in every day and worked, man. And I can tell you, not one time when I'm like, oh, man, I'm ready for the offseason. You know, I'm just like, damn, I want to win. So it's just been, like I said, a hell of a year. And to get these 2 wins these past 2 weeks, I mean, it just felt great because, man, we needed it.
I want to take a moment. He's great to talk about Bobby Romanski and his equipment team. They got in super late. They didn't go to bed. They go to the stadium when they land. They set up those lockers, those jerseys, those cleats, and then they got to get them out of there and get them back on the plane. How about some game balls for that equipment staff? What a remarkable job they did.
JT, you know you hit my spot, my sweet spot there, because Bobby is one of my best guys. And just love him and the way they had to kind of get off that plane, get off the buses, go over to the facility, get everything ready. So when I come in, when players come in, everything's the same like I like it. Shoes in the right spot, helmet in the right spot. All those things. They have to remember all the little quirks of every player on the football team. You know, this guy likes his, shoelaces on this side. They got to remember all this stuff and do it. It has to be right because we need to play well. So those guys who don't get a lot of credit in that equipment room and the training staff had to hump and had to do a great job of getting the Raiders ready to play on Sunday and under really difficult circumstances. So shout out to all those guys.
What are the Chargers playing for? They're in the playoffs. You got to give them credit for that. Last time they were here, we put up 63 on them. So believe me, they're going to remember that. But they don't have to play their starters. Looking like Kansas City will not play any of their starters in their last game of the year against Denver. Denver's trying to get in. When you're in a situation like that, what's that like when the coaches say, hey, we're not going to go with our starters in the game, and the Raiders want to end the season with 3 in a row?
Yeah, it could be really weird, because the opposing team is not playing. So when you're studying, you're not sure what to study and prepare for because this is not the football team that, you're going to see early on. So it's going to be a situation where we have to really play ourselves. And hopefully it ends up a lot like this Saints football game. We're able to dominate the time of possession, get some turnovers, get some sacks, and send the Chargers off with the loss to the playoffs.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year, man.
It's going to be a big New Year for you.
You too.
Absolutely. We're going to be tied together
That's right.
for Canton, Ohio, and I hope that happens for you. No better teammate than the one I have right next to me on Raiders Roundtable. So the final game will be at Allegiant Stadium on Sunday against the Chargers, a division rival. We want to thank all of our viewers who have been with us all year. Hopefully we'll see you at the Torch.
Come to the Torch.
Come to the Torch and get a photo and hang out. And the Raiders want to end the season with a 3-game winning streak. They'll have an opportunity to do that against the LA Chargers. Happy New Year, everyone. We always appreciate you joining us.